What did the most drunk person say or do last night at your party? I work at a bar. I tried to take a spoon back from someone who was leaving, but he wouldn't let me have it. He kept insisting that someone had knighted him with it. Hope you got home okay, spoon knight. I got so drunk that about an hour after the new year I jumped off the balcony, fell to another party and stayed there for a few hours before realizing I don't know anyone. I was the most drunk at my friend's party. Around 11:55 I started freaking out because I didn't have any 2017 glasses. So I ran and got some paper and some scissors to DIY that crap. While sitting on the floor trying to craft some glasses out of paper, the clock strikes 12 and while everyone starts cheering and kissing, I sit on the floor with scissors and papers hysterically crying because I didn't have any night glasses. I was DD and my friend had to puke. So we pulled over and he threw up in the street sidewalk. It's a small town, and we were parked for probably 5-10 minutes. I was looking for cops because I wasn't sure of the legality of him throwing up in the street regarding littering or whatever, and small town cops in Delaware can be sort of dickish. He was finishing up when a cop rolled by. He drove past us and didn't stop, but he turned around and drove past again. He went down the street and around a corner, so I assumed we were safe. I drove down the street and shortly after the cop rolls up and pulls us over. I'm sober so I'm not too worried, but when he walks up to the car he has a bottle of water in his hand and asks, "Hey, do you guys need this?" looking at my friend slumped over in the back seat. We all laugh and thank him and he lets us go on our way. I know he was doing his due diligence making sure I wasn't drunk, but he was cool as crap about the whole thing. That's an officer actually doing public work. Had to convince my friend not to jump in the pool because he thought this water is 2016 water. I gotta jump before it becomes 2017 water. It wasn't even a pool party. If there are people in a pool, then it's pool party. Clapping to the beat of a song. A drunk man from Holland comes up to me and says I have great, powerful claps and we should clap our hands together in the form of a high five. My GF started puking, and between outbursts says at least this is all good wine, it doesn't taste so bad coming up. The most optimistic woman in the world. We had a bunch of friends over at our house last night for the New Year's celebration. It was starting to wind down and a group of them were having trouble finding a cab home. So one of them passes out on the couch because the wait had been over 2 hours. Finally, when a cab is hailed, another friend rushes inside to wake up the girl to get her. My GF and I are saying goodbye to everyone at the door. She groggily stumbles over and begins to say goodbye to my GF. "So nice to see you guys. I had a great time. You guys should come over more. Don't worry about the coat. We can meet up tomorrow and figure it all out." "Yeah, no problem, we had a great time too. We'll talk tomorrow." She stands there in a blanket. "Yeah, hope you guys come again." "Again? We'll figure out the coats tomorrow. I'm going back to bed right now." I start to clue in. "We live here. You're the one leaving." "Oh." So she starts to put on some shoes at the door from the pile. "I don't think those are your shoes. Do you remember what you wore here?" She looks down and stood trying to fit into small shoes. She then moves to a red cup on the floor and sticks her foot in it. At this point I'm dying laughing. "I don't think you wore that either." "Oh, this is embarrassing. I think she walked away with our blanket too." This one is great. Gotta love the docile drunks. Ecuadorian student studying abroad in the States. 2 bottles of goose. That's geese. A nurse. Guy came in complaining of scrotal pain. Stated he was at home, in his living room, high on coke and quite drunk, sitting on a bicycle when he slipped and caught his marble purse on the sharp pedal. He felt wetness and assuming it was blood wrapped his manhood in TP and ran to the air. He got back to my room and finally found the courage to check the damage himself. Noticed it was just urine and he had peed his pants. Ran straight back out into the night without another word. Happy New Year, Central Ohio. Me and my friend made an addition to 10 jars of Everclear concoctions, spiked gummy worms. At one point someone had tongs to take out the worms from jars and fed it to one of the girls at the party. He said he felt like a mama bird. In my drunken wisdom, I decided I wanted a mama bird too and proceeded to flap my arms like a bird and squawk. and was rewarded with a delicious worm. Cue about 10 people then squawking and flapping their arms in unison as we were being fed spiked gummy worms by a drunk man with tongs. What a time to be alive. This is the best, ha ha ha. I told someone I was done drinking for the night because I'm a P, and he gave me this real emotional speech about never putting myself down. The real MVP. My wife said you can do anything you want to me I won't remember while hugging the toilet. He kept praising the invention of balloons. I threw the lighter away instead of the firecracker. A guy sat in the corner in tears because he didn't want 2013 to end. There were a few singles at my New Year's Eve party. They were joking about just all kissing each other when my buddy offers to kiss all of them. When asked how he's going to accomplish it, he manages to slur out the words "midnight is a whole minute," and I'm a yes. That's my new life motto. I was walking my wasted boyfriend home from the bar we were at, and I told him he wasn't allowed to go to bed until he drank a whole glass of water. He started crying and said, "Why are you punishing me?" It was pathetic but hilarious. This lady was much drunker than everyone thought, and no one realized until around 12:10 am when her husband tried to get her to leave and she grabbed him by the throat and pushed him down some stairs. He got up, dusted himself off, and calmly walked out the front door. She attempted to sober up in the dining room while someone downloaded Uber to her phone so she could get home. I felt bad for the guy, but secretly I was so happy to see he said F this and bounced completely. Problem is he married her. That might have been his breaking point, meaning crap like that has happened before. Good luck to your friend. Friend's friend passed out on the couch still wearing his ski gear, lets out a huge fart waking himself up. He turned to look at his butt, simply asking what while looking confused. I think your friend might also be my dog. We had a guy who kept walking up to large groups, pulling up his front-facing camera and yelling "What's up, Snapchat?" Everybody crowded into frame and cheered. He doesn't have Snapchat. Towards the end of my own party, I got a bit tipsy and started taking my phone up to people's faces while asking them to pose. Apparently, I was just flashing my phone's torch on their faces for like 2 minutes. I ate a 8-piece family bucket of fried chicken and chugged a few beers. While walking home, I vomited in the middle of the sidewalk and basically laid down on top of a bush to recover. Some guy with his lady walked past, and when he saw the scene I just heard him say "Jesus frick." So I spent New Year's Eve at my girlfriend's place. For a little bit of background, her entire family mostly speaks Spanish. I, on the other hand, speak next to no Spanish. Anyways, at midnight everyone starts hugging each other, and one of her uncles comes over to me and speaks, in very broken and slurred English, that he doesn't know me, and I don't know him, but that's going to change. That he can see that I make my girlfriend happy, and that makes him happy. That he respects me a lot for spending 8 hours with people when I don't understand at all what they're saying. That I'm now a part of his family. Probably not the type of comment you all were looking for, but it was incredibly touching to me. Nah man, that's chill as frick. Good for you. My friend started belting out the theme tune to an old British kids show called Poddington Peas. Then he started crying and said when I was a kid there was an episode about a freaking pea who was too fat to get out of his house. All the other peas tried to help him, but they couldn't get him out. I remember identifying with that pea. That pea was me. He cheered up once we bought him a kebab. I bet the show gave him Pete's Tiddit. Wow, this blew up overnight. Thanks for the gold. The most drunk person at my party was my friend's sister, who went missing halfway through the party. That is until everyone got a Snapchat from her in the bathroom, on the toilet, singing the lyrics to All Star by Smash Mouth. Him. Can I use the food garage? Me. The what? Him. Oh, the oven. Stop telling Amy what to do. I have never died before. A friend who got kicked out of 2 clubs and wanted to keep drinking and partying. I mean, I've heard much worse drunk logic. My best friend went over to the keg to get some beer. He pumped the keg and proceeded to spray beer all over his phone, which he thought was a cup. I was so stunned I didn't say anything for like 10 seconds, and when I did he looked at me like I was stupid, then looked back at his phone and threw it across the room. He had to confirm the kill. My friend was hosting a party and got pretty tipsy. As the night wore on, he changed his shirt 9 times and took 3 showers, attempted to drink water and spilled it all over himself, then tried to take another shot. Someone stopped him because he was pretty far gone. When I left, he was laying on the floor soaked in water with his headphones on, not plugged into anything. I think we have different definitions of the word tipsy. She called her husband a sad fat dragon. He's really not sad or a dragon. My friend made pasta but forgot that boiling water was hot, so he grabbed the noodles out of the water and got 3rd-degree burns. We asked our friend how drunk he was. He responded, twice. My friend has a recording of me sulking over a girl years ago and I said, I'm gonna kill myself in half. I found my friend hiding a statue of a mermaid in the top of a toilet. His reason: it needed to be back in the ocean. My friend told me he will donate my car to Cars for Kids if I vomit. How generous of him. I freaking love Kids Bop, as Fetty Wap was playing on the speakers. On our way home after the party we got pulled over by a cop for taking too wide of a turn. It was raining pretty hard and our DD wasn't super familiar with the area. This is when the drunk butthole laying across the backseat starts panicking and screaming, saying he knows we are getting pulled over because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Long story short, cops don't appreciate it when they can tell someone's freaking out in the back of a car they're walking up to. Luckily he was a cool guy, ended up giving our DD a sobriety check and sending us on our way. We apologized for the actions of drunk people, but it was pretty late and the cop just seemed glad we had a sober DD. But I don't recommend reaching out through another person's window to try to grab at a cop, even if you're just trying to get out a drunken apology. Sent a dong pic to his longtime good friend instead of who he wanted it to go to. I work in a casino and this random drunk lady poked me in the butthole last night as I walked by. Kinda made me uncomfortable. Last night that person was me. I was falling asleep in front of the toilet but I was shaking because it was so cold in the bathroom. When they tried to move me I shouted, "This is my spot," and started spitting on the floor. I must have the best friends in the world, because I would not tolerate that crap. Was on the beach and this guy couldn't find anywhere to hide his bag, so he just tossed it into the ocean and yelled, "Those suckers can't steal my beer now." He wasn't wrong. Suckers ain't gonna get his beer. Do you think General Mills was a real general? You have been visited by the magical sugar jar Puggo. He'll only share his sweetener if you comment "Surga please, Mr. Pupper." Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.